All right. Love hearing those clicks. That
Hey,
means we're
you haven't followed me back on Instagram yet.
Ooh.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
bullshit, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I will.
Hey. He would have saw my signature piece earlier.
Hey, I will.
Should we throw that in the...
I'm sorry.
Nah, maybe we should just attach a photo.
Your signature piece. What are you talking about?
My chess piece.
The chest
Oh, we might have to throw that in. Yeah.
I think we throw the picture in.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
worth chucking
I don't
in.
feel like taking my shirt off right
You-
now, but you guys are going to love it.
You don't want to lift your shirt?
Get it off your pussy.
I mean, I got to move the mic and shit.
Oh, you're making excuses.
All right, I got an
now.
ingrown hair, motherfuckers, okay?
Okay.
And that shit hurts.
All right. We'll throw the picture in there.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Insiders Podcast, presented by WTP Motorsports. Today, we're joined by Jayo Archer. What up, dude? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, guys, I'd like to say thanks for having me. I love what you guys are about, so it's a pleasure to be on here.
So, for people that don't know, Jayo was out here in California for X Games, FMX. We'll get there definitely a little bit in the show, but let's start from the beginning. Give us a little background. Where in Oz are you from? And, how'd you get into motorcycles? Let's start there.
All right, so to take it all the way back, I grew up in Sydney, Australia, so pretty big town. Grew up riding motorbikes and racing and stuff, and then when I was about 7 years old, I moved down to Melbourne, and then just sort of by chance, that was where I met Cam Sinclair and Bilko, which was pretty cool, and it was very, very lucky kid to be able to hang out with those sort of guys. And then the whole freestyle thing, I didn't really plan on doing freestyle. I kind of just fell into it, but I used to hang out with Cam Sinclair a fair bit, and we'd go riding and stuff, and I'd always watch him flip and do all that sort of stuff, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. So I remember one day, I think I was 14, I took a day off school, and I wanted to do a backflip, so didn't tell my mum. I just took the day off and cruised down, and then
On a dirt bike, you already wanted to backflip?
yeah,
And you're how old?
250F. I was 14, so
Holy shit.
cruised down to Sinclair's, and then ended up doing it, and I was sweet. And then got home. I remember telling my mum, she's like, "What? You did what? You did a backflip?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
So you literally just did it on your own?
Yeah. So into the foam pit first, obviously, and then went to dirt, but. I was still racing motocross at that point, and I'd taken it pretty serious. I was racing all the national and state titles and stuff. And then, as I said, I didn't really plan to do freestyle. I loved these guys, and I looked up to them all. But I kind of just sort of fell into it, in a way. And then, since then, I haven't looked back. It's all I want to do. Every move I make is to try to better myself in the freestyle world, or kind of set my scene and kind of do the things I want to do. So yeah, it's been a hell of a ride, but I'm very, very lucky to have grown up around guys like Cam and Bilko, because they've been they've been really good to me, and they've taught me a lot of things, a lot of silly things,
Right.
but a lot of good things too. So but yeah, that's pretty much how it all started, and now we're here.
Right. Well, we kind of... I asked you earlier before we came on about how you met Bilko. Now, and then we, Ritter said, hey, hold the answer. So let's hear it.
It's a funny one. So how I met Bilko. So I just moved down to Melbourne, and I was 7 years old, and I finished school one day, and normally, my mum would pick me up or whoever, and I was out the front of the school at the front gate, and this dirty old Hi-Ace van, Toyota Hi-Ace, pulls up out the front. The sliding door comes open, and I just hear, "Oi, are you Jayo?" And I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, I am." He goes, "Get in." And that was literally how I met Bilko. I jumped in.
You jumped in his van.
But you were like, you already knew who Bilko was, obviously. You were already a fan.
No. This is like, I'm talking back in the day. Bilko was not famous.
No shit.
Bilko was just Bilko from Backstay. He was not
Yeah.
famous. He was just a guy. He was still racing Supercross and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I mean, I was young, so the people I looked up to then were was Travis Pastrana and Chad Reed and stuff. But Bilko was, he was young himself. He was probably 18, 19, and he literally just rolled up in his dirty old van, and and I just stupid little kid just jumped in, and then
No shit.
yeah, and then that's pretty much how it all started. But me and Bilko were just talking about the other day. We were like, how stupid was that?
Right. So
It's a little creepy, too, nowadays.
It's pretty creepy, but it's sick.
I love it, though.
So did he just like have an idea of who you were and wanted to hang out, or what?
Well,
what?
so we
Someone send him to pick you up?
So Cam Sinclair lived with my family, or me and my mum, and we lived just a couple of miles down the road. And I think Cam was maybe meant to pick me up, and we're going to go riding or whatever. And I think they just thought, nah, fuck it, we'll get Bilko to go get him. So I think the instructions would have been the little fella with the long blonde hair, because that's kind of how I was rolling back then. And then I don't know, who knows? He might have actually asked a few other people if they were Jayo, but I'm not sure. But I'd have to ask him that. But
that is hilarious.
But yeah, that's how it all happened. I jumped in the van, and then we just cruised back home. And then I think we would have gone riding or something. But it was it was pretty random.
That is hilarious. So just to give a little bit of background, we brought you on for like the last 10 minutes of Bilko's episode, straight out of Australia here for X Games. You've been staying with Bilko for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So that obviously, that friendship of just hopping into his van randomly kind of obviously paid off.
How it started, how it's going.
Well, I should. Yeah. I probably wouldn't be hopping into many other people's vans these days. But But nah, look, Bilko, he's like a brother to me. He's been awesome, throughout my younger days, even with the racing and stuff. And as much as he's a clown and he talks a bit of shit, and he's a funny guy, but when it comes down to it, he can be very serious and give good advice.
Yeah.
And even though the X Games thing didn't go my way, and I didn't really have the performance that I was looking for, Bilko was really good throughout. And so yeah, look, it's been pretty cool, man. The last few weeks, like, as much as I want to go home and see my girlfriend and stuff like that, I kind of want to stay and hang out with Bilko, because it's been pretty cool. It's a dream of mine to come to California and hang out and be around all the guys. So to be able to do that with someone like Bilko is it's pretty cool. It's pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. So for the people that don't know who you are, how did it go for you at X Games? What did you bring to the table? How did it end up?
Yeah. So unfortunately, as I said, the X Games thing didn't really go my way. But you live and you learn. At the end of the day, it is what it is, sort of thing. But look, before I got a pretty late call up. I think probably most riders did because of COVID and stuff. We only had kind of probably 2 or 3 weeks notice. So, and I'd actually been working on a different project, which we might touch on later.
Yeah.
But with the time that I had, I started just did some work on the airbag. Got a Freeform Action Sports. I'm really lucky to be sponsored by Josh, who owns that. So we got some bag jump airbags. So we've got the best technology at home. So I started working on some double flip combos, and then took them from the big square airbag to the airbag landing. So I'd actually been riding out of like some pretty decent combos, like no-handed double flips and knack double flips and stuff like that. And then I had a few other double flip combos, one in particular that hasn't been done yet. So I actually felt like I had a really good preparation, and then come over to the States, and I was lucky enough to borrow a bike from the guys at KTM North America. So I had an awesome bike, awesome equipment and everything. And I think, as I said, come in really confident, good preparation. But the thing that caught me off guard is it was the US ramp, so the US style super kicker. So in Australia, we have a different style of ramp. So our super kicker is a continuous radius, so it's the same all the way up. Whereas the US ramps, they're a little bit different. They've got like a flat piece and then a bit of a radius, and then they flatten off on top, which is not a super big deal. But I think the biggest thing for me, which caught me off guard, was how poppy the ramp was. I had it. It was jacked up, probably 300 mil. You guys probably don't know what 300 mil is.
No idea.
But
I was just totally going to act like I knew.
It was jacked up about this high. So, I mean, I always go off the exit angle of the ramp.
Yep.
So, pretty old-fashioned. I just use my iPhone, and I've got an app that tells me the degree.
No shit.
So, but what I'd been practicing on, I was really comfortable with, and I felt, I was kind of dialed in at home. And then over here, the ramp was just like super steep, and which is obviously good for a double flip, but I think I just spent too much time. I mean, the ramp I've been practicing on is the only super kicker I've ever jumped, because that's kind of what it's one of Camp Sinclair's old ramps from the old Crusty Demons days. But I sort of just stuffed up. What I planned to do on my first run in Best Trick was I wanted to kind of have like a safety run, so to say. Basically just get some points on the board. So my plan was to just do a double flip, and then my plan on the second jump was to do one of the variations that I've been practicing.
That won't be spoken about yet.
That's his safety run.
But
double flip, next jump, double flip variation, no big deal.
Unfortunately.
Do we not talk about the combo though, since you didn't get to do it?
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
But
we'll save it.
because
Gotta keep secrets.
before I came over, I landed and rode out of about 20 or 30 doubles. You know, just in a week, I just did, a bunch. So I was feeling pretty confident with it.
Yeah.
And actually, before the run, I actually dislocated my shoulder and banged up my elbow pretty good. So coming into the day of the competition, I was a little bit sore, but there was no way I was going to not have a crack because, it's a dream, X Games.
For sure.
But anyway, fast forward a little bit. So my safety jump, which should have been pretty easy, as I said, just I come in and I pulled, just fairly normal, and even opened up. Wasn't revving the bike, opened up to kind of slow it down, and the thing just spun like incredibly and over rotated, and then didn't really get knocked out, but I don't know, I was definitely seeing stars, and kind of just banged myself up again, and unfortunately that was my X Games over. So as I said, you live and you learn, and I think next time round I would like to spend a little bit more time in the States and get used to the ramps. It was one of those things I just wasn't really aware of.
Yeah.
I just kind of presumed that the ramps would be the same.
Right.
I didn't, or if they were different, it wouldn't be that much different. But I think,
You would think all ramps are kind of
I think it was
the same.
just more so how jacked up the ramps were. They're just super easy. But it's funny because you'd never. You would never worry about over rotating a double flip.
No, that's kind of the last thing that you think you'd worry about.
But it felt like, if you watch the footage, I kind of barely felt like I barely pulled, but then you'll notice I kind of open up, which spread the body out, which slows the rotation down, and I still did it. So, but anyway, look, as I said, you live and you learn, and I think next time I'd like to spend a bit more time over here and get a little bit more comfortable on the ramps, and then that way I can really kind of have a go and show people what I've been training for and what I've been practicing. So, but look, all in all, I had a great experience, and I wouldn't. Even though it didn't go my way, I wouldn't change this trip, for the world. It's been really awesome to come over and meet all the guys, and
you met really cool people.
Yeah, this dude over here, he's got my initials shaved into his chest fur.
Right.
We'll probably get that out later. He'll probably get a few chicks, I reckon. But,
he's getting me some roots tonight.
Too bad he put the J in backwards, but
except the J's backwards, I think. I don't know. Yeah, you
she gonna be cross-eyed anyways.
his style chick.
But yeah, look, it's been awesome, and I just can't wait to come back next time and actually have a crack and do a little bit better.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy that I hate to even fucking say it, but a lot of us didn't even know who Benny Richards and fucking Adelberg, and I had heard of you a little bit, but I didn't know that you were doing double flip
didn't either.
variations. You know what I mean? So
the promotion or the advertisement before X Games was terrible.
It was. That's
terrible.
What I mean. So,
I did not know one single rider out there in the FMX.
And I think that's kind of what sucks is you guys are doing such gnarly shit, and they didn't really put any spotlight on who you guys are.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of that was because of the whole COVID-19 thing, and look, I'm really happy that they were able to string the event together and make it happen, but it was very, last minute, no one really knew what was going on. But I'd like to think that, come next year, hopefully things are a lot more normal.
Right.
And I think they'd be able to do a bit of a better job of promoting it and all that sort of stuff. But I think, look, I agree for sure. A lot of people didn't know, who we were and everything, but I'm just glad that they were able to at least get something together.
Yeah. And it sucks because I really don't want to sound like I'm complaining about it, because it was fucking amazing that they were able to pull that off. In some of the weirdest times in history. Again, it just, fuck, you're doing double flip variations, and
yeah,
you know what I mean? That
yeah, and no one
known,
knew that.
That should be known by everybody.
Yeah, look, it's a tough one.
You can walk into a gas station and nobody's gonna know that you're that dude that's literally doing shit that very few people in the world can do.
Yeah, but that's all good, I'd never want to do it for that kind of reason. I like to do it because I kind of like to compete against myself and challenge myself. So I'd never want to be, try to be known by people or whatever. But I understand what you're saying for sure. I think, look, if there's probably a few things that they could have, improved on. And look, I'm a newbie, so I'm not going to be trying to call the shots and say,
Yeah.
you didn't do this and this.
You're like, I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah, no, but one thing I think all the riders could agree on was we struggled with practice time on the day. We didn't really get enough practice, sort of thing, and I definitely feel for the guys on the 2 strokes because, it was incredibly hot, and a few of the boys from Australia on 2 strokes, like Jayo and Benny, they had to play around a fair bit with their jetting, and they kind of spent a bit of the time just trying to get the bike to run right, and then they didn't even really get much time on the course.
Right.
And then because I was doing best trick only, everyone else in best trick was actually doing freestyle as well. So everyone else actually got out and had a ride and got to know the course a little bit. And then we got there at 8 a.m. and I didn't end up getting on my bike until 6 p.m.
That's
I think
crazy.
I had like 4 jumps or something. So, with a different ramp and stuff, I probably didn't have that much time to get used to it. So I'd kind of just tried to have a crack. But as I said, I think it's because of the whole COVID thing, and we're pretty hard up for time. So I think for what we had going on, I'd like to think the guys did a great job.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
the event happened. That's what was
right,
important.
yeah.
It
Absolutely.
happened, and the course was dope, and it was different, and it. And again, it happened.
Absolutely, yeah, it was good.
What did you only get invited for best trick then?
Yeah, just for best trick. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you didn't get invited for freestyle in general?
So I think, look, to be honest, I've been the last sort of 12 to 18 months, I've been working on another trick, which is like a best trick sort of category. So I've kind of I put a lot of my focus towards that style of riding. And I think moving forward, I think that's the sort of stuff that I'd like to do. I don't want to be known as a one-trick wonder or anything like that, but the bigger sort of like the best trick style, competitions and things of that matter is kind of what excites me and what I'm very passionate about. So not taking anything away from the freestyle guys, because the stuff that they do is incredible, and you've got to be absolutely spot on for every single trick off 120 ramp, 75, and total respect for them. And I actually did get I was an alternate for FMX as well, and I actually said to the people at X Games, I said, look, I've put a lot of my focus into best trick, and I'm really focused on doing that. And I said, I'd like it if you gave that alternate spot to someone else who really wants to be there, because I'd hate to take that away from someone who was super passionate about freestyle.
Going there just for that.
Yeah, so I think I gave my spot up. I'm not sure who took that, but I was just happy to do the job that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think it's sometimes harder to put like for best trick, like you're working on one trick at a time, one big trick? Do you think like mentally, or mostly mentally, do you think it's kind of harder sometimes focusing so much and hard on one trick rather than just kind of running through a handful of tricks?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it makes you think. You know what I mean?
Look, I think especially say the week or two leading up to X Games, you're trying to nail this one trick over and over, and sometimes you might have an off day in the foam pit or the airbag or whatever, and it can get a little bit frustrating. But I think I was kind of all right in that respect, because although I was just doing double backflips, but I was kind of working on maybe 2 or 3, probably 3 different double flip variations. So if I was doing a few and whatever I was working on, whether it was a no-hander or whatever, and they were kind of a little bit lousy, I could kind of then go to the other one and mix it up. So I wasn't just dedicated to doing the one over and over and over, because I think that can get pretty hard for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What
stressful.
What were some of the struggles like to make this whole thing happen? Because obviously through COVID right now is a fucking nightmare to fly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty incredible actually. Well, for starters, you got to get an exemption from the Australian government to come over, which we all had to do. That went pretty smoothly because we had a letter from X Games to prove that we're coming over for work, so that wasn't too bad. But I think the biggest struggle was probably just the cost of everything, how much it cost. I spent like $7,000 just on the flights. And then
that's so fucking gnarly.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty full on. And because I got banged up at X Games, I was actually meant to fly home about a week ago, but I did a little bit of damage to my arm and elbow sort of area, and the doctors were worried that if I flew home I'd get compartment syndrome and could lose my arm, so I had to cancel my flight. I didn't get any money back, so that's like $7,000, and then so I had to get
That hurts.
another flight, which was 3, and then
So you're up at $10,000 on just trying to get
Just
home.
flights.
and then you got to add in the hotel quarantine. So when I returned, so I touched base in Sydney. That's my first touch in Australia. So even though I live in Melbourne, I got to fly to Sydney, and then I got to do a hotel quarantine there, which costs $3,500, and literally got to sit in a hotel room with no windows by yourself for 14 days.
14 days.
It's pretty gnarly.
Fuck.
And you just get fed like airplane food. I was thinking, fuck, for $3,500, I want to be eating like a king.
Right. You
Yeah.
want to be chilling, eating fucking...
At least let me Uber Eats or DoorDash, whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, let us have a.
So they don't even allow that. You're not able to Uber Eats or anything.
I've been told you can once a day, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm.
But look, it's an expensive trip. But you know, as I said before, it's a dream to come to X Games. There's no, you know, everyone's different, and certain people wouldn't want to do things that I'd want to do. But for
Right.
me, I'd pretty much spend, you know, whatever money I had to do to be able to come over
Right.
and compete on the world stage against, you know, people that I idolise and look up to. So the money, look, as much as it was hard for me because I work a normal job at home, and you know, I've spent, it's probably he's getting up on $20,000 this trip.
Is that all out of pocket for you?
Yeah.
Like, I know you got some sponsors and stuff, but is
Yeah.
that all that money's out of your pocket?
Yeah, that's all out
Yep.
of that's it.
Oof.
That's
it.
heavy, man.
But look, as I said, I'd do it 10 times.
It's not
over.
about the money.
Right.
No,
No.
I'd do it 10 times over.
Right.
If,
Was this your first time at X Games?
first X Games? Yeah.
First time in California, or have you been?
No, I've been to California a couple of times. I've done some stuff over here with Nitro Circus, and been over here a little bit. But it was my first time staying in the one location for
Yep.
3.5 weeks or whatever. So it's been cool.
So how did you become friends with? Because obviously I work for Rob,
Yep.
and I was pretty sick at the time that all you guys got to go over there. But
Yep.
so you guys are all the Australians are friends. Is that how it works?
we're all friends. It's pretty cool. Aussies, we kind of we're all friends. We all look out for each other, and you know, although people are serious on game day, we all want the best for one another.
For sure.
So, which is pretty cool. I think so. The way I met Rob, so as I mentioned earlier, I moved down to Melbourne when I was a young kid, and it was just by chance that I ended up meeting Cam Sinclair and his family through the racing and stuff. And then, as I said before, Cam ended up coming to live with me and my mum for a couple of years, and then, I think we just sort of met Rob through that. You know, we used to have heaps of cool people. It was like Cam and Bilko and Robbie and Matt Schubring, another FMX, legend from Oz, and Jono Porter, who's passed away now, but he was another Aussie legend on a dirt bike. So
Yep. I've heard Rob talk about him.
yeah, so it was pretty cool. You know, I was lucky to be around those guys at such a young age, and I think I definitely made the most of it. Like I still look up to these guys now, so pretty fortunate. But you know, it was cool coming over here. I kind of just text Rob and then went over there for a ride and stuff. So it was pretty cool. Like Rob's an awesome dude because he's super helpful. Whenever Aussies come over to the States, like he makes them feel at home.
He takes them in.
Yeah, he lets them ride at his place and jump in his foam pit, and he just lets them feel welcome. You know,
Yep.
So it's pretty cool. And definitely hats off to Rob because he's a very genuine dude.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, him and his wife Amy have just like completely taken me under their wing, and
Yeah.
I call them my second parents.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
They
no,
take
yeah.
such good care
you're
of me.
the step kid,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're the unwanted
the
step.
unadopted
I
kid.
am. I'm the unwanted step kid that they literally never hoped for, but I just kind of fell in their
You
lap.
fell into place.
Well, they're just very genuine people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
You can
right.
feel that.
yeah,
They're always excited to see you. They're always so respectful.
yeah.
Like,
No, that's it.
That's hard to find.
There's a lot of look, we're pretty lucky, as I said, in Australia. We're all pretty close, and there's a lot of people like that make you feel pretty welcome, and especially Bilko. He's been awesome this trip. So I'm it's not being funny, but I'm going to probably miss Bilko when I head home.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
It's actually been really cool. It's going to be a bit different going back to my normal life.
Yeah.
And back to working a normal job, maybe for a little bit, but then I'll be putting all my focus into the Nitro Circus World Games, which is being held in Australia this year in Brisbane. So
Ooh, that'll be fun.
that's going to be good. That's in October, so that's going to be it's going to be massive. I've been training for a long time for this event, so it's going to be cool.
Fuck yeah, that's sick.
Back home, or sorry to cut you off, but back home, what is your normal job?
So I've been working in construction. So
Okay.
we
Is that why you're fucking juiced?
Yeah, what the fuck do they feed you in Australia, dude? They ain't feeding anyone else there that.
You're the first guy that we've had to like move over a little bit
Yeah.
for to make room.
Well,
This
see,
man didn't fit in a normal MRI machine, just a heads up.
So I've got to look. I take my take the training and stuff pretty serious.
Yeah.
But I train because in the gym. I train because I actually enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I got into going to the gym, a couple of years ago now, and kind of didn't really know much and just learnt bits and pieces along the way. But now it's like a hobby for me. So I've got a pretty interesting kind of schedule and things I do during the week. So I get up at 3 a.m. And then breakfast and all that sort of stuff and hit the gym. I normally do about an hour and a half at the gym, and then from there straight to work. And we've been doing, so the work we've been doing, it's on like the railway, so we're kind of building all the infrastructure for the underground rail network throughout Melbourne. So that might not make any sense to you guys, but basically we're labouring and we're
Sounds gnarly.
We're working hard for 12 hours
Yeah.
in the day. So it's kind of it's full on, but at the end of the day, it makes me appreciate trips like this so much more because you work hard and you pay for what you've got, but to be able to come over and hang out with dudes and ride a dirt bike, is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's I feel very lucky to be in the position to be able to do this. So all the work and the bits and pieces in between is all worth it when you can come over and fucking and hang out and
Absolutely.
to go your hardest. So
It's a crazy deal because, I mean, there's a lot of shit that all of us can complain about. You know what I mean? We all bitch and complain all the time.
yeah, it's only human, really.
Right, but there's times where I sit back here and kind of fucking slap myself in the face a little bit because I'm like, fuck, man, what am I really complaining about? Like, what am I really bitching and complaining about? I moved out here. I lived in New York and I bartended for a job.
Yeah.
Didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't love it.
Wasn't what you were passionate about.
Exactly. And I knew that I wanted to do other stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And when now I'm finally getting to the point where I'm able to do that and I don't have to worry about going and working a normal job anymore.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy for even you guys. Like, Miriam lived it too for a while. Like, you're legitimately your only job is to be as good as you can on a dirt bike, or for me to film and do the best that I can do at what I'm doing. But I mean, fuck it, it is a crazy deal that all of us are literally able to do what we want to do and
that's
make
it.
a living.
I mean,
off
if
of
you
it.
become, if you're passionate about something, obviously for me, riding bikes, it's like, some people, I wouldn't say some people have it easy, but some people have an easier way of getting there than others.
For sure.
But
Absolutely.
I think if you're passionate about something enough, you'll do whatever it takes to get there. So if that's working 12-hour days and not being able to spend much time with your missus or your family or whatever because you're kind of working hard, then that's what you'll do. So although I get pretty frustrated at times or whatever because I'd rather be riding and stuff, I kind of just think it's not that bad. I've got 2 arms, I've got 2 legs, I can walk, and I've got an awesome bike, and I can go riding. So
Keeps you humble.
Yeah, it's kind of get shitty times, but it's like, fuck, there's a lot of people out there that are worse off. So
way worse.
But I'm kind of I'm really happy to say that I'm kind of at the point now where I'm making a transition between being on the tools, so to say, like working a normal job, and making the transition between that and just riding full time.
Being professional athlete, yeah.
The guys from Black Rifle have jumped on board and they've been really good to me and they're helping me out. So
that's actually really cool to see. I've met JT.
JT,
JT was super cool.
Yep, he's a legend.
And it's actually super cool to see a company that's essentially not an energy drink.
Yeah.
Supporting.
These guys are pretty cool and they're making a big impact in the action sports world. And I think in the next couple of years, you'll definitely see some big things. But yeah, they're really cool. Travis Pastrana actually put me in touch with them. So that was a pretty good introduction.
Absolutely.
Which I was really happy with. But yeah, the guys have been awesome and they just want to do fun shit all the time.
For sure.
And that's why I think they're going to make such a big impact in the sport, because they've got crazy ideas and they're all.
They seem to have good people involved too. Like a lot of people that know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They're professional. So, but yeah, I'm stoked to be a part of their crew. It's definitely helped me out, and it's, as I said, it's kind of helped me make that transition between working and then being full time on the bike. So.
And essentially, is that the goal? Is to not have to work the normal job?
Absolutely, yeah.
You're like, get me out of there.
Yeah, like as much as I like fucking digging shit.
How old are you right now?
I'm 25.
25, okay.
Yeah.
Imagine that. This motherfucker's 1 year older than me. You
I
don't
know,
look
right?
old, but like, did you start getting tattoos at 16?
I was born with tattoos.
Was it?
Yeah,
I believe that.
Some of us Aussies are actually born with tattoos.
Ah,
Yeah, so hopefully my kid is.
that makes a lot of sense. I was
does make
wondering
sense.
that.
Nah, I started getting tattooed when I was like 17, underage. I just had this dude. I was in his garage. I just got this tattoo, and then kind of went from there. And I'm actually sponsored by a tattoo shop now. So shout out to Addicted to Ink.
Fuck, bring them over here. I could
yeah.
use some words.
Oh, they go pretty hard. I've got
I'm ready.
I've got my boy BJ from Addicted to Ink who tattoos me, and yeah, he does some pretty cool shit.
Fuck
so.
yeah. You actually have. I'm picky. I don't like a whole lot of people's crazy tattoo ideas, but I do like your work. Your
Yeah,
arms look good.
cheers. But yeah, well, if only they could come out here and get you hooked up. If you ever
We're going to have to go out there.
Yeah, I
you ever
know.
come to Oz when this COVID rubbish is done and dusted, you have to come out and we'll get you going.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Didn't there used to be the tattoo racing team back home?
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Egan
that
used to ride for them. Maston.
He did, yeah. I think that team was around for a few years. It was actually pretty cool, man.
It was.
Like on race day, they had like a pretty sick setup, and then people cruising around with like a can of, energy drink or something, but it was full of like, Jim Beam or I don't know, some sort of beer.
They had the right angle.
By the way, this is actually Black Rifle.
Look at that
It's actually,
for the fans.
That's actually coffee. I'm not drinking a beer through this.
No Bilko
So,
slide
dude,
shit.
we're sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're not getting a shoey tonight.
Yeah,
This man likes dry shoes. I respect that.
Yeah, I'm as much as I love a shoey, I love it more when other people do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I actually don't mind having dry shoes.
It might sound really disgusting, but I would rather do it out of someone else's shoe.
Yeah, that's fucking
yeah,
weird.
that's gross.
I don't want a wet shoe. If I'm forced to do one, it ain't gonna be mine.
Well,
Yeah,
you don't want
yeah.
to do it out of Bilko's because he's he'd have a bit of gear down there,
Oof.
bit of toe jam and fucking whatever else.
So to take it back a little bit, you mentioned that you kind of got put in touch with the Black Rifle guys through Travis. How did you and Travis become cool enough that he's, giving you references and shit?
So the way that kind of started, look, I'd met Travis a few times through doing the Nitro Circus tours and stuff, but it was more in like a group environment, and it was more of a, g'day, how you going? Not like a one-on-one sort of thing. And so when I started, for the people that don't know, I've been on a bit of a journey with the triple backflip for a little bit now. So the way that all started off was when I first learned to double flip. I was kind of just getting them around pretty easy, and then me and Cam Sinclair were having a beer one night. I think it was at his birthday party or something, and we were kind of just talking shit and whatever, and he's like, oh, you should try triple flip. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then he's like, no, he's serious. And then we kind of just got talking, and then, we're pretty hammered, and then that was about it. Then the next day, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I am. So I went and spoke to my friend Josh from Freeform Action Sports, and we got together and we come up with a bit of an idea of a ramp, and we literally just drew it on a bit of paper and then had it built. And I started trying to triple backflip just into Sinclair's foam pit. And going back now, the ramp was like, it was nowhere near big enough, but the idea that we had, it gave me that, that feeling of like, shit, I can do it, because I was kind of doing 2.5 flips like pretty easily. Not easily, but I was doing it off a ramp.
Off a standard ramp.
Yeah, that's like not that big. And then from there, it was pretty much, and still to this day, it's pretty much all I thought about, all I wanted to do. And I'd just go to bed thinking, fuck, how can I do this? What gearing can I do that?
Taking over your brain a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And then it was funny because I was at work one day, and I remember I was having just a shit day on the tools, and I was like, lunch break or smoko as we call it, and I just thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to email Travis and send him some of the footage that I've had, and see, we didn't really have a facility or somewhere in Victoria or Melbourne or even Australia where I could do something like that on a proper scale with a big ramp. So I emailed Travis. I got his email address off Greg Duffy, who's a dude that does a double front flip in Nitro. So Duffy's a legend, and he gave me his email address, and I messaged Travis with a bit of an idea and sent him some videos and stuff. And I just said, look, would you be able to help me out? Is there a ramp I could come and jump or whatever? And look, to be honest, I didn't even think Travis would see the email because I can only imagine how busy his inbox is. And then, anyway, phone down, back to work, blah, blah, blah. And then it was not that long later, maybe an hour later, I got a reply.
Same day.
Same day. I got a reply and the word Travis Pastrana come up on my phone. I just about threw the thing. I was like, hang on, boys.
This is fake.
Stop working. And
I fucking quit.
Yeah, everybody hold on.
You guys.
Fuck you guys. I quit.
And look, dude, Travis was that cool. I could go back and find the email now, but he was just like, hey, Jayo, that's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. I love what you're doing. And he's like, hey, I'll be home between blah, blah, blah. It was maybe August and November or something. And he just like sent me his address. He just goes, come over.
Just cruise over. Have a beer.
Like, what? So basically between then and the when I went over, I worked my ass off. I was doing massive hours, big weeks. I was doing a lot of night shift stuff, and I didn't even ride my bike for like 6-8 weeks. I literally just worked my ass off and put a heap of money aside, and then to be able to pay for the trip. So when I got to Travis's house, I literally hadn't, and because I shipped my bike over, which took, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But when I got there, I literally hadn't ridden a bike in like 8 weeks. And then I got there and I didn't even know what ramp I was jumping, or I had no idea. He just said, I've got a ramp that you might like. And then it didn't bother me. The fact that I was there and I was...
You're like, I'll hit whatever you tell me to.
I was on a mission. I was just like...
I'm going to figure this out.
It's Travis Pastrana. I don't care what he gives me. I'll have a crack.
Yeah.
So I started... Basically, first day, I just started doing double flips, like spinning super. I think my first jump was a double flip because I was like, I don't want to jump this thing straight because it's fucking huge. So I just double flip. And then, the way that I kind of got into it was I'd just spin a double flip super fast and then let go, and then just kind of land on my back on the airbag and just kind of let the bike go. And then that way I can go back and look at footage and sort of see how high I was and how much time I'd have. And messed around for a few days, and Travis was actually, he had to duck out. So I think he might have been in meetings or something for a few days, and then by the time he come back, I don't know, it was maybe 3 or 4 days later, I started spinning him, and he was pretty blown away. He was like, not that he didn't think I could do it, but he was like, fuck, you've had a go. It was just me, my buddy Josh, and my brother Ryan, and we knew nothing about airbags at that point. Well, not much anyway, and we were kind of just 3 Aussie battlers having a crack.
Right. I'm sure it was a little bit hard to believe that you were just like, hey, I want to do this. And then you actually come out there and you start getting them
and in that short amount of time, too.
Yeah, it was pretty sick because, look, there was a few complications in the trip. Like my bike, it showed up like a week late. So I sort of lost the whole first 7 days. I didn't get to ride because my bike was God knows where. And then ended up turning up in New York, so I had to hire a car. We actually already had a car, but I had to jump in the hire car and drive to New York and pick it up. And then the people wouldn't give it to me because of some sort of paperwork I didn't have. And we ended up spending the night there, and I was just about ready to fight them for it. But there was a heap of other little complications along the way. But then once all that sort of happened, Travis was like, "Fuck, like that was pretty cool." So,
right.
From that, and Travis taught me a lot. There was a lot of things he taught me. And not even necessarily things on the bike. It was more so things with the ramp, all this stuff about exit angles, like I mentioned before, and degrees. And there was a lot of stuff that I just never really heard of or hadn't been taught. So Travis was a massive help with a lot of that sort of stuff. So he helped me out big time. And then from there, I did what I did there. And if you check out my Instagram and scroll back a little bit, there's some clips from that. And from there, once I got home, that was pretty much kind of all I wanted to do. So, and still now, sort of all I want to do. So, I can't really say too much more, but we've made some really good progress, and I've had a good kind of crew of people around me to help me out. And with something like that, it's a team effort.
For
so
sure.
You've got to have a good crew. So I'm lucky to have my mate Josh from Freeform. like I said, he came to Travis's house with me, and he designed the first ramp that we built. So he's kind of been with me from the get-go.
Yeah, he's just as involved as you are almost.
Absolutely. He puts in just as much effort as what I do. So that's been really cool. And that's something I'm super passionate about.
It's super important to have good people around you doing especially gnarly shit like that.
Absolutely. And like I've dedicated pretty much everything I do is kind of to get better at that, you know. So I even like changed the way that I train in the gym, and there's certain things I've done a lot differently to try to, you know, have different strengths and stuff to be able to pull the big girl around 3 times. So, but look, yeah, there'll be some more stuff coming pretty soon, and I'm excited to be able to kind of share that with people.
So when you were leaving there, I mean, again, I don't want to dig too much out of you, but when you were leaving there, you were getting 3 flips around.
So at Travis's house, I was under rotating 3.
Yeah.
But I knew that I could do it, so I was getting him around to the front. Like if I was going to dirt, I would have crashed, but I was getting him to the point where it was like, okay, I can
it's
have
possible.
A crack. But it was on a different ramp to the one that Sheeny did it on years ago. It was just that
one was gnarly. Didn't someone go into the tree?
Yeah. So it was another ramp, and like looking back on that now with the ramps that I have now and what I've learnt. I think it was a great effort that I did, because I just think that ramp was not designed for a triple flip. So,
right.
But I was getting him to a point where they were close enough that I knew, I can do this, like, for sure. So, but yeah, as I said, you can check that out on my Instagram. There's a few clips where I'm coming around, and you can just hear a KTM 450 on the rev limiter. Just fucking ping.
So has anybody actually landed a triple flip yet?
Yeah, so Josh Sheehan, another Aussie, he landed a triple flip at Travis's house.
Wasn't it airbag landing?
No.
Or was it actually to dirt?
Yeah, no, that was so he did a bunch to the airbag landing, and then did it to dirt. So he did it. Yeah, so just
that's insane.
So he's the first one to actually hold the triple flip.
Absolutely, yeah. So he's in my opinion, it's the biggest and craziest thing that's been done in action sports.
And
he's definitely the most dangerous.
And he's like the second calmest Aussie that I've met. Like,
yeah, Sheeny.
You and him are throwing some of the biggest shit, and you guys are like the chillest.
I know you guys are the quietest. Like,
Sheeny's a legend. He's like
he is a legend.
He's like the silent assassin. He's
honestly,
he's very, very, very nice, very respectful. And then you see him ride a bike, and you're just like, fuck.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah, literally, I was gonna say the same thing. Like, that's that dude that I was just talking to.
Yeah,
right? Super chill.
But Sheeny, I've done a bit of stuff, bit of training and riding with Sheeny earlier this year, and. You know, like I said, about Bilko being a good help. Sheeny's a really good help as well. He's he's pretty switched on, and he trains hard off the bike. You know, he's very, very fit. So he's a badass, and you know the way that he rides a bike and the success he's had, it's no joke. He didn't get lucky with his success. He earned it. You know. Yeah, he has a crack. So. Yeah, hats off to Sheeny. He's one of a kind.
That's
cool.
That's
why they call him the Unicorn. That's his nickname.
That's awesome.
Because he's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like triple flip, even double flip, like how important is bike setup with that? Like, is anything different from normal double to triple, like bike setup wise? Do you have to change certain things?
Yeah, there's a few things that we change, and I think the bike setup. I think these days it's becoming more of a thing that people think about, and Levi Sherwood was probably the guy that he's super switched on, and he's making some pretty trick parts. I'm not sure
like that swing arm you had.
My swing arm.
Oh, it's on your Instagram. I was gonna bring that up because when you jumped on the last episode with Bilko at the end, he was saying if you in that moment at X Games, if you had a stock one, you probably would have landed it.
Yeah.
Like what's the purpose of that? It looks like plastic.
Yeah.
Like it's nuts.
So the swing arm is it's shorter than OEM or standard. So the idea of the shorter swing arm is to shorten the overall wheelbase of the motorcycle. So basically the bike, it's going to rotate, it's going to spin easier because it's not a big long beast, it's a bit shorter.
Right.
So and it kind of changes the it changes the way, like the whole linkage and linkage arm and everything. It kind of changes the ergonomics of the bike.
Right.
So it's definitely a very, very good tool, and it's a good piece to have on the bike, and I think it is a good help for sure.
Right.
So it's pretty incredible. But yeah, the whole bike setup and that side of thing, I think that's becoming, a lot more people are wanting to look into bike setup and stuff,
Right.
like professional, race teams.
Just trying to find the next edge.
Yeah, so you're doing supercross, motocross, you go testing and you test a bunch of different stuff in the day and you figure out which direction you want to go. I think that's sort of coming into the freestyle world a little bit more now, which I think is awesome because it's only going to allow people to, take things to a new level or be able to do things easier, and then they can add variations to certain tricks and stuff. So I think it's really exciting to see that kind of come into play.
Right. It's crazy to see how like even the smallest parts, like engine mounts, like I have carbon fiber engine mounts, and the smallest thing can have such a different feel to the entire bike.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
It's pretty incredible, really, because the bikes. Anyone who knows what the current bikes are like, they're amazing out of the box. So to be able to get a bike and put a pipe and a bunch of other stuff on it, then to throw like a special swing arm and some other parts on there, it's like the things are pretty incredible. Like you can do some pretty cool stuff.
I feel like weight's super important too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like KTMs, they're definitely hands down the lightest 4-strokes.
Yeah.
But most guys that aren't on KTM, Husky, or Gas, they're on 2-strokes.
That's right.
A lot of them.
Yeah, look, I think obviously I ride a KTM and I've ridden KTM for the last two or 3 years now, and I think they're incredible. I think for me, I think they're the best bike for me, for sure. Other people might think differently, but
Ritter hates them. I'm just kidding.
No, I got a gas, and I'm I'm absolutely in love with it.
Yeah, no, I think they're sick. Like they, pretty much everything about them suits my style, and I just kind of, I like the biggest thing I like about them. I think is definitely the weight, the lightweight, but also just the power. They got really good power, so
super smooth.
And the more power you got with freestyle, kind of the easier it makes it, to spin and do.
Just to get shit around easier.
Yeah, basically, even for whips and stuff, I think it's pretty. It makes whips a little bit easier, sort of thing. So you see like Corey Creed, he come off a Honda, he's now in a KTM, and I think his riding is incredible now. Since it always has been, but since going to a KTM, I've noticed it just seems like he goes a bit bigger on the quarter pipe and his whips and everything, and he looks a little bit more. Probably more at home, a bit more comfortable on the KTM. So
you're able to move the bike a little easier.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty good machine, for sure.
I think they're fucking good, man. Like once you figure out how to ride them. Yeah. Because at first the first week I had my gas, I was like, fuck, did I make a mistake here? Like, did I just waste 10 grand?
Yeah.
And I just kind of kept going and got used to it. And granted, like before I got on that bike and before I moved out here and all that, I didn't ride a whole lot for a long time, blah, blah, blah. But long story short, my style and my technique were dog shit. Like horrible.
Yeah, they were.
And but
I had to watch that shit.
But Merriam actually, Merriam has fucking perfect form. And
I had to coach him a few days at the track.
It like pissed me off, but at the same time I'm like, all right, well, I need to take him and just fucking
learn.
Have him shape me out.
Yeah.
And it fucking worked. Like I took him to the track 2 or 3 times, and he literally made it to where, between him and that bike, I don't look like a fucking turd on the dirt bike anymore. Like now I at least have better form and I have better technique, and a lot of it is, that bike. That bike is same thing. It fits my riding style, and me being 6'3" and fucking
you're tall as fuck.
Right, like it fits me fucking perfect. Like I don't think I'll ever get off of an Austrian-made bike now.
I must say, the big fella over here, this guy on my right, we went out to Parla.
I'm probably looking pretty big next to you.
We went out to Parla a couple of days ago, and he was just testing some suspension and he was just getting a feel for it, and then he started putting in a few hot laps, and he was chasing down the 21 machine.
La Fama Blanca.
The old Husker Banana. And I was pretty surprised. I was like, not surprised, but I was like,
he can turn it on when he wants to.
Absolutely. For 2 laps, he can turn it on.
I had
dirt bikes and women. I could turn it on when I want. I'm just kidding.
The women, he struggles with.
I am struggling in that department.
But
I heard. I bet you are.
Hey, easy guy. Okay, you didn't hear shit. You don't know shit about shit.
I heard you're going fucking pretty good. It's probably that new chest fur piece that you've got.
Honestly, if I leave these letters in here, I'd probably pull so much ass.
Maybe maybe not.
I don't know. Honestly, sitting next to you, I look less attractive now. So thanks for that, asshole.
No, I heard you've been smashing it. I've heard a few.
Oh, you didn't hear shit.
I've heard a few rumors you've been going pretty hard.
Hey, you know what? That little birdie that told you he's about to get shot.
He's actually sitting there like, fuck, what are you doing? Don't say that.
Nah, it's cool. I'm in a free country now.
No, we're just messing with you, but we get a bit off.
So you, I mean, we'll turn it on you a little
Yeah,
bit.
you
So
got a missus
So
back
you
home.
have, you have a missus. Are you married? Are you
Nah.
girlfriend? What's your situation?
Just girlfriend for now. She's definitely going to be my wife.
Love to
Eventually.
hear it.
So
That's strong.
You're such an honest Australian. It's kind of weird.
well, she's a fucking a ripper chick.
That's
so.
awesome.
But nah, Beth.
Have you guys
hello.
been together for a long time?
We've been together for about 3 years now. So, but yeah, she's a legend, and you know she's a very good chick, and she kind of supports me, and she's a big help for everything I do. So
I was gonna say you coming over here for 3 weeks and you guys are still together. She's got to be
Yeah.
somewhat
The chick either
supportive.
makes or breaks you. It sounds like
Yeah.
she makes you.
Nah,
That's a
she's-
big deal.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's as I said, she really helps me out with certain things. You know, if I'm kind of even before I came over here, you know, obviously a little bit nervous, and some days don't go to plan. And she's always there to back me up and go, you know, you've been training hard or whatever, you're good, sort of thing. So she
Keeps you positive.
Yeah, she sort of keeps me going.
That's strong,
So,
dude.
That's awesome.
That's
but yeah,
super
she's-
important.
She's cool. So lucky to have her on my team. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
cool.
fucked up your shout out a little bit. What's your name, Beth?
Beth.
Yeah, shout out
You
to
ever,
Beth.
you ever
Beth-
sing her Beth, I hear you come?
I'm not very good at singing, so I normally just
No,
say,
you don't have to sing. Just play the song
I
for her.
normally just say, "Oi, Beth."
Oi, Beth.
Oi,
I love
Beth.
you.
Oi, babe.
I love you, Beth. Just
But
Forrest
yeah.
Gumper.
Oh, mate, she gets Forrest Gump for sure.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, I don't know what it is in the water over in Australia, but goddamn, women are very, very hot over there. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
You talking about Miss?
I mean,
I mean, no.
I totally didn't look at her Instagram. No, but honestly, like all Australian women are freaking
Oh,
flagrant.
I mean, no homo. It seems like Australia just puts out like fucking good looking people, like you, Maddo, like all you fucks are.
Oh, don't worry.
I would say the girls are a little more fortunate than the guys.
Don't
There's
worry,
very
we-
few.
we
guys.
got, we got some.
Are you sick of going to your local motorsports store and getting ripped off? Our guys over at mxboot.com got you covered. They hooked us up with a promo code to get you guys set up with some freshies. Use code INSIDERS at checkout for 10% off your next purchase of a new or used pair of boots. Their one-of-a-kind boot trade-in program allows you to get the most boot for your buck. Trade in any brand towards a new or used pair of boots in their inventory. Just send a few pictures of your boots to them on Instagram or Facebook, mxboot.com, to get an instant trade-in value. A full line of Alpine Stars are available featuring the Tech 10s, Tech 7s, and Youth Tech 7s in tons of colors and sizes. Make sure to follow mxboot.com on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news like limited edition drops, used inventory, and featured deals. Definitely hit up mxboot.com. We use them for all of our needs. It's the best way to go if you're not trying to spend $800 on a pair of boots every time. So hit up mxboot.com for all your needs. So you go back to Australia on Tuesday.
Monday.
Yep, Monday the 2nd. From there, so fly to Sydney and do the 2 weeks in the hotel, which is going to be it's going to be pretty boring, but I think figure out a way to. I got some movies, and I'll probably try to read some books or do try exercise the brain a little bit and see if I can get a little bit more out of it. Might come out the other end a little bit smarter, hopefully.
Probably watch
But,
all of Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, dude, I'll watch that 5 times over. It's my favourite thing. Don't worry, me and my missus will be watching that when I get home. She won't have a choice.
There you go.
Maybe
But,
maybe a couple podcasts.
Yeah, dog. But from there, once we're done with that, back to Melbourne, to where I live. And then, as I said before, I'll be putting kind of all my focus into the Nitro World Games. So I'm actually really, as much as I've had a great time here and I'd love to stay and hang out with the crew, I'm really looking forward to getting back and kind of back to my normal program and training hard and kind of just get back into what I was doing before I come over here. So I'm really, really looking forward to the World Games. So everyone have to make sure they check that out, which will, I think it's the 23rd and 24th of October in Brisbane. So
Full
that's
crowd?
going to be cool, man. Look,
How's that going to work?
We sort of don't know at the moment. I think everything's looking like it's going to go to plan, but you kind of never know with the COVID stuff. And I'm sure, as probably a lot of American people know, that Australia's been hit with COVID. Not that we've been hit with it, we've just taken it in the shittiest way. So
Right.
we've had some pretty harsh lockdowns, and there's some crazy rules. Even this getting locked in a hotel for 14 days is pretty crazy.
Especially when you're from there.
Yeah, we obviously got to test negative before we can jump on the plane anyway. So
Right.
But
not to get like super political, but what is your take on the whole, not even just COVID in general, but how gnarly Australia is? Just because I've read some pretty fucking heartbreaking stories from.
Yeah, look, it's pretty average, but to be honest, I'm a bit of a chiller. I don't get too far into things. I just, all right, we're on lockdown or whatever. We'll figure
Deal
out
with
what we can
is.
do. Yeah, because, whatever I do or, whatever I try to say or whatever worries I have, it's not going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm happy just to go, all right, fuck, we're in lockdown again. All right, let's set up a little home gym and we'll figure out how to kind of get through the next X amount of days or weeks or whatever. So, look, I don't have too much of an opinion on it. Obviously, I don't like it because in Victoria and Melbourne, we've spent like 260 days in lockdown or something. So it was pretty harsh. And the people I feel for the most are the small business owners.
Mm-hmm.
For me, who gives a fuck? I just can't go to work and I don't make money for a few weeks. But
You can ride your dirt bike though, right? Or can you not even leave the
No,
house?
you can't do any of that. But as I said, the people I feel for are like the small business owners. So people like my mum, she's got a small business and she does really well. But she's got like a retail store, and rent is super expensive, and it's like $5,000 a week in rent.
Holy shit!
And
Whoa.
when she's not able to open the doors, she's still got to pay those bills.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that kind of hits home the most is obviously because someone so close to me like my mum. That's kind of my biggest, thing I hate the most about COVID is a lot of awesome people with small businesses have had to shut down, and I think for me that's the hardest thing to see. I don't really care if I can't go riding for a week or whatever because life goes on, sort of thing. But it's people that have really been screwed over by it. It's kind of the hardest thing to see. But fingers crossed. I think things are kind of a little bit coming back to normal in Melbourne. Other parts of Australia are pretty busted up at the moment. Like Sydney, they're in like a 4-week lockdown or something. But I do hope it kind of gets back to normal pretty soon because I think everyone in Australia is just pretty over it. It's gone on for long enough.
Oh, I'm sure. We had one lockdown or two. I think one.
We just want to get back to normal and do what we like to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. It's super easy to get fucking all deep into the shit, and I mean I get it. It's it's super easy to just kind of start scrolling and fucking reading all this crazy shit, but I think it's good for mental health to just kind of stay out of it and let.
Yeah, look,
you can't get caught up in all of it.
One, you can't control any of it anyway.
That's
No matter what we do, our life goes on the same.
That's it. I'm pretty realistic. I try to just fucking be pretty normal when it comes to that stuff, and I just don't get caught up in all the conspiracies and stuff because I just think, fuck, everyone has enough problems in their life. What's the point of worrying about whether 5G is giving you fucking brain problems and all?
Wi-Fi gives you cancer.
Yeah, they're putting trackers in your, in your drinks and your food. And
here's the thing: everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah.
If all that's true, then all you need, the cell phone's all it takes. They can hear you. They can see what you're. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you're worried about being tracked, then you're fucking.
But that shit's so far out of your control.
Yeah.
It's like just move on with their life.
But look, I will be honest. It's pretty funny to hear some of the stories that people have got and what some of the shit they believe. Definitely gives me a good laugh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when they're like die hard, like we'll die by that.
Yeah.
Like they totally believe it. There's no change in their mind.
Yeah, I just think fuck it alive.
Like I'm just laughing at you.
Yeah. I don't even worry about something normal.
Yeah, like you're
Something
not
you
gonna.
can control.
I'm sorry, you're not the person to change the world.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it's a good laugh. I think each to their own. Some people believe in that sort of stuff, and some people don't. But it doesn't really bother me what people believe in as long as they don't try to force it on me.
Yeah.
I'll just tell them
Yep, I stand by
You do that,
as well.
tell them to get fucked.
Yeah.
Kick
Kinda.
rocks.
Well, you said you don't really get into conspiracies, but I'm going to ask you about conspiracy.
Oh, here we go.
Do you, as an Australian, believe in aliens?
Nah, mate.
We talked about that earlier.
As I said before, I live in the real world, so.
All right. Fuck anyone who thinks aliens exist.
No, I'm only joking. But look,
Savage mode.
me personally, I don't. But I know I actually have friends and people pretty close to me that do, and I'm only joking when I say I live in the real world. But look, if that's what they do, then that's hats off to them.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me, but
I've got to ask.
For me personally, I just think I don't believe in that.
I'm one of those guys.
You're an alien guy?
I mean, I'm not saying I'm an alien guy. But,
maybe you are an alien.
But
could be big.
You
chance.
are kind of weird.
But
you are 6'50".
You kind of look. You have the body of a fucking alien.
Do I?
Kind of.
Have you been checking me out, brother?
I mean, we live together, dude. Quit walking around the house fucking naked.
Dude, he's got GoPros set up in the bathroom and shit.
Yeah, he does.
That's for good reason.
He's got him on the railings when I walk down the stairs.
I mean, I got it at the edge of the bed. I mean, why we have one more tripod that's not here. Why do you think it's always missing?
Yeah, true.
What a fucking creep.
I like to watch myself.
My thing is like, do you really think that we're the only ones?
I don't know.
Universe is massively large.
I don't know. Ask Jeff Bezos.
I've just never really had this conversation with an Australian except for Rob a little bit, and he was really tired, like about to pass out.
What was his answer, though, before he passed out?
I don't really know.
Mid-sentence, he fell asleep.
Yeah, like I honestly didn't really get much out of him, and I don't want to speak for him. We'll have Rob on at some point.
We'll have to get him on, and we'll have to
just for that question.
I'll dig right into it. But
yeah, look, I mean,
I love that question. Do you believe in aliens, Hush Boy? You don't believe in them at all?
Are you saying that just because Jayo said he doesn't and he lives in the real world? You definitely do.
Dude, just before I come here,
full of shit, mate.
Show me all these alien things on his phone.
He probably was.
You reckon he goes to school with an alien?
Who?
Or something?
No shit.
Oh yeah. I believe that.
One of his mates, he was at the skate park. One of his mates today doing alien shit.
Bro, you were telling him that he doesn't know you skate.
I don't know. Like you were just telling me in that.
Ooh, that's true.
You did that really good manual on your pushy, on your BMX. You had like an alien on your backpack or something. I don't know, man. Look,
Damn, Hesh Boy's fucking fronting on us.
Dude, he goes pretty hard.
He does.
Big alien guy.
Big alien guy. I'm a big universe guy.
Do you believe in do you believe in aliens, Miriam?
Dude, honestly, it's one of those things like it's not that I do or don't. I don't even think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the same.
Like if I'm actually sitting here under the frickin', under the sniper and I have to answer, I would say, I don't know. I don't even want to answer that. I don't know.
You know why you've never thought about it? Because you don't fucking smoke weed.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do. You need to rip a bong, and you need to sit in your bed and
for the sake of.
That's probably why I don't think about it. Because I don't smoke weed either. I wouldn't be good at it, but.
That was actually.
Hey, let's just say the universe shit.
Maybe I should have a Hong Kong, and I'll
opens me up.
I'll think about some aliens.
That was actually one of my questions, just because Bilko was saying that like Australians don't really smoke weed.
It's not. Look, I wouldn't say it's very popular in Australia. I think many years ago, people say my dad, for instance, when he was a young tacker, I think he'd know his way around a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah.
Old homemade Hong Kong.
Another Aussie joke.
I think it was probably more popular back then, but nowadays, I wouldn't say it's very popular at all. Like, out of the group of friends that I have, I know one dude that smokes weed. But,
no shit.
Dusty, shout out.
Shout out to Dusty, my guy.
Yeah, he rips on a push bike. I don't know if he has aliens like Hesh Boy, but he rips on a pushy as well. But nah.
Maybe they can bro down together and do some alien shit.
Yeah.
But no, it's not. It's not super popular. And that's a funny thing about being over here. It's like everyone smokes weed, and it's like so normal. And like if I walk around and smell weed, I'll probably get stoned. Like I'm a full on like don't smoke weed.
Oh, dude, Ritter smokes freaking probably a half a pound a day.
But I mean that's actually one thing. But see, the thing is with people over here, they're like they still function really well and smoke weed. So I feel like this big fella over here. But look, I think. I just don't think you see it at home. Like, look, there's a lot of worse things that people are doing in Australia. And
for sure.
Are pills popular over there?
Yeah,
like painkillers, stuff like that.
Oh, look, not so much. I'm sure they are, but in the circles and the people that I know, it's not really not really the pain stuff. I think that's a bigger thing in the States.
Gotcha.
Is the painkillers and the opiates and stuff like that.
Because it is a big deal here.
Yeah, even for instance, like I obviously being a freestyle rider, I've had a lot of accidents and broken bones and stuff. And like I remember, I broke my neck, really badly 5 years ago or something. And I think I did literally left the hospital. I was in a neck brace for like 5 months or something, and I left the hospital with absolutely zero painkillers, nothing at all. So they're very, very hard up giving pain pills out to people, especially people that look like me, covered in tattoos. Even when you need them for a serious reason, like they just don't give them out.
Right.
So I
That's
think
smart. I don't hate on that at all.
No, I think the reason they're not super popular at home is probably hard to get. I don't know. Like it's not really
nothing.
Not really a common thing. But
Irenic CBD, quality you can feel. Their drops and cream are definitely making a huge impact on the CBD game. That's what we use. You guys should use it too.
When I'm at home, because I kind of try to stick to my routine and get up early and do the gym and all that, like, I mean, I just kind of don't see the need to drink because I think, I have a drink now. It's just like, well, it's only going to make me a little bit more tired in the morning or whatever. Or I'm having all these supplements and proteins and all this shit. It's like, what's the point of having a beer?
Right.
Unless, so that's the thing. Whereas if I'm going to drink, I'm going to have a proper crack. And then
have a good time.
Yeah, and have a heap of them. Whereas
I feel like that's better. Go hard less often, and you don't you go super hard one night. You don't really want to go hard for at least a few weeks.
I think
I tell myself a month, but it's only a few days.
Nah, it's like a couple of days. It's like
a few hours.
Go to work a little bit dusty. On
Eat some ibuprofen. God, grow up.
The old story, you go to work a bit dusty on Monday, and you just think, oh, never again. And then Tuesday, you're still thinking, fuck, what was I thinking?
By Thursday, you're like, it's
Wednesday,
Friday Junior.
Thursday start coming around. It's like, hey, I wonder what's going on this weekend. But I can't say I do that anymore. But definitely in my younger days, I was I was a bit like that. But I've been hanging out with older guys all the time. I'm obviously the young guy, part of the freestyle crew sort of thing. I think I matured at a younger age probably than most of my friends and stuff. My friends my age, obviously, because I've always had that influence from the older guys like Sinclair and Bilko that I've looked up to. So I think I kind of,
grew up with them.
Yeah, just sort of matured, earlier on in life. So I think I got all the carrying on out of the way when I was a little bit younger. Although I'm only 25 now, I'm not super old, but I feel like I've matured a lot, especially in the last probably 12 months. And I think my girlfriend's a big part of helping me do that. So
I feel you there. If it wasn't for my girlfriend, I'd be a fucking loose cannon. So.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a loose cannon. He'd look like me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all fun and games, as we say.
Well, I think it's fucking really sick that you have such a good head on your shoulders for a 25-year-old dude that's trying to make it happen.
Thank you.
Especially in a country that seems to produce fucking nut jobs.
Oh yeah, especially as of recent. They don't make kids like they used to. You know what I mean?
No, look, I really appreciate that. It's as I said, it's been awesome to be here with you guys. So to hear you guys say things like that means a lot.
We're super excited to follow your journey and see what you end up doing. And I mean, like I told you before, this doesn't generate a ton of views, but I hope that whoever does watch it cares enough to look you up. And
absolutely.
And we get good reach. You know what I mean? It's not just about the views. Like, there's people I would have never guessed that reach out to us or whoever we have on. And
well, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
But one thing I'd like to add as well, if people do or don't follow me on Instagram or check me out or whatever, it's totally cool. But
you probably should,
if there's ever any young kids or whatever age, it really doesn't matter. But anyone out there who wants to have a chat and kind of ask, how'd you get into this, or what made you do that, or what do you do with your bike for this, and anyone who wants to have a chat, definitely reach out to me because, not that many years ago, I was just a kid that, looked up to people and always wanted to be able to chat with guys like that. So brings me a lot of joy and pleasure to be able to chat with people. And I always check all my messages and stuff. And especially the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be stuck in a hotel. So if anyone wants to reach out and say g'day, it would mean the world to me because without the fans and stuff of the sport, we're kind of nothing. So, check me out. Instagram is @JayoArcher.
Definitely go check him out because, again, there's not very many dudes in the world that are attempting to go around 3 flips in 1 jump.
Yeah.
And are fucking cool ass dudes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, boys.
Is there anybody that you kind of want to take this opportunity to thank and shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the guys from Black Rifle. First off, they've been really good, and I've dropped this guy's name 100 times now, but I couldn't ever thank him enough, and that's Josh from Freeform Action Sports. For anyone that doesn't know, actually check him out. He's a legend, and as I said, he puts in more effort, with this stuff than anyone, and he's making a bit of an impact in the world of freestyle in Australia as well. He helped out Jackson Strong and Benny Richards before X Games with his airbag stuff, so he's a legend. Big thank you to him, and then big thank you to my brother Ryan. He's always got my back, and he helps me out and kind of sponsors me as well, and he's always been behind my journey. So thank you, Ryan. And just a thanks to the rest of my family and my girlfriend. They've you got to have obviously good support crew behind you, and I'm very, very lucky that I've got such good family and stuff that help me out and kind of have my back. And even when I come up with stupid ideas and things I want to do, they never kind of shut it down. They always go, yeah, all right, let's figure out how you can do that sort of thing. So,
Right.
And then thank you guys again for having me on board, and hopefully people enjoy the podcast. And as I said, if there's anything else that you guys want to know, hit me up. And thank you. It's been fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah. It was good having you on, man. It was a good time. I'm actually pretty bummed that you're leaving.
Yeah,
I know.
I
I hope one day you can work up the fucking not even the courage, just move the fuck out here.
Yeah, it was funny. I was saying to Beth, my girlfriend, the other day.
Tell her
like,
she's got 3 to 5 years max, and you guys are here full time.
Well, I said to her, I'm like, hey, you wanna like, would you be keen to move out? And she's like, yeah. So if I
next year sounds good.
Well, if I had a way to make money, make enough money to live in the States, in California in particular, I would do it. So
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So
I got you.
oh, look, I'd love, as much as I'd miss my family and stuff, I think for me it'd be awesome, and I know my girlfriend would love to come out here. So
Yeah.
I know your stepmom's a hairdresser,
Mm-hmm.
and my missus is a hairdresser, so
We could get her in a badass salon, and so is his
and
missus.
your missus is a hairdresser, so fuck,
We're just surrounded by hair.
We're pretty much on. You think we'd have better haircuts, eh?
I mean, we also all have hats on too.
I'm only joking, but no, look, I'd love to spend a bit more time, even if moving here was to never happen. I'd like to definitely come and spend more time here around this time of the year, because at home it's winter at the moment.
Right.
So where I live, it pretty much just rains every day and it's cold. So
Right.
what better place to be than sunny California?
Absolutely.
So I'd definitely like to spend a bit more time here and spend a bit more time with you guys as well. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to catch up again.
You always have the Aussies, but you're always welcome to stay with us too.
Yeah,
man. So,
thank you. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
All right, boys, we're going to get out of here. It's like fucking
Almost 11.
11:30 at night.
11:30.
We're
11:30.
putting in
And
And we're drinking
overtime.
fucking coffees right now.
Putting in overtime for the Insiders viewers. So go ahead, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscription.
Like, subscribe.
Drop us something.
And
I can drop one.
Drop
here's the
something.
thing.
Drop
Tell
a
all your
pinger if
friends.
you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drop a pinger.
Have a pinger.
We'll get you some disco biscuits if you like and subscribe.
Oh,
Yes.
I know a couple of guys.
Yeah. But either like it or suck shit.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thanks for watching. And,
Thanks for coming on, man.
no
We'll
worries.
we'll see you in about 30 seconds from now.
All right.
Later.
Let's check out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boys, nice and cool in here now.
Hey, can you grab my phone and just get a photo of us?